Barb and I spent last week in Montana, and part of that time was spent in a conference with Greg Braden and Howard Martin. Howard Martin is one of the developers of HeartMath, and we're going to share with you today some of that information. So to begin, we're going to do a little meditation, and this is all about how to create inner peace. We think about what peace is like, but we need to create it within ourselves. So find a comfortable position, inhale a deep breath, and as you exhale, relax your body completely. Now continue to breathe a little more slowly than normal. Inhale for 4 or 5 seconds, and exhale for 4 or 5 seconds. This slow type of breathing tells your body that you are in a safe place. While you're doing this, it is normal for many thoughts to come into your mind. Simply allow them to just move on through and refocus on what you are doing. Imagine now that you are breathing through your heart. Touch your hand to the center of your chest. You can imagine that the air is coming in and out of your body through your heart in the center of the chest. Or you can imagine the air going through your mouth and then into your heart. Any other way you choose is fine. But just imagine breathing through your heart. Now think of someone that you appreciate, or think of something that you are grateful for. Think of someone or something that you really care about. Feel someone that you have compassion for, and feel this in your heart. Within every human heart, there are 14,000 sensory receptors. These receptors are receiving information. These cells are much like your brain tissues. You activate these cells when you breathe slowly and consciously through your heart with a feeling of gratitude, compassion, care, and appreciation. Now see in your mind signals being passed from your heart to your brain. Feel the peace, the gratitude, the compassion, the feelings of appreciation that fill your heart. Now continue to hold this feeling throughout the rest of this evening. And when you are ready, you may return your hand to your lap and open your eyes. So keep that feeling with you. Tom gave us a definition of inner peace. Inner peace is when every part of your body is in harmony, when every part of it is vibrating at a harmonious, harmonic frequency. Now, sometimes we talk about world peace. World peace right now isn't very peaceful. There's only 11 countries in the world that are not in some sort of armed conflict. Only 11 countries. So lots of times our body's like that. Parts of our body are in conflict with other parts of our body. And when we have that, we don't have peace. So we need congruence between our heart and our head. We need a harmonious feeling between our intuition and our logic.
So what keeps us from having inner peace?
Well, when parts of our body are out of harmony, that is when we don't have this inner peace. So we have to learn to respond in positive ways so that we feel really good inside when we react and respond to something. And when something comes our way, we don't respond as in a negative way. Many times we feel fear, we feel hurt, we feel shame, we feel these negative emotions. So why are we out of harmony with ourselves?
Well, because we have a lot of fear. We have a lot of worry about our families. We have worry about money. We have worry about what could happen in the future, what should have happened yesterday, and all these coulda, woulda, shouldas. And so it just helps us to be unorganized. And a lot of times it's just plain loneliness. So we need to figure out something that will help us, to stay in the now, like we said, and try to get rid of the shames and the disappointments and the dishonesties and things that's been haunting us in our lives, and let us know that those things happen for a reason, and that we had to learn from them, and so that we don't hold on to them as bad things in our life, that those are just learning experiences. So those are the kind of things that we need to to kind of change us. Say?
So other things that can cause disharmony and lack of peace. One of them is that many people in this room are empaths. How many people feel like they're an empath? An empath is somebody who can feel other people's feelings. And sometimes we feel other people's feelings in our own body. So I have patients who can't go to the grocery store because they feel everybody's feelings. They feel the anxiety, the depression, the joy, the happiness, the pain in the toe, the pain in the neck. All of these things are just flooding through their bodies. And until they learn that they're empathically feeling all of these other people's feelings, they sometimes misinterpret it, and it creates for a lot of disharmony. So if you're an empath, it's something that you need to understand. Something else that I would like to introduce you to are two types of emotions: renewing emotions and depleting emotions. And this is based on body chemistry. So are there things about our physical body that affect our emotions?
Yeah, one of the biggest things are our nutrition, and another things are toxics in the body. The nutrition is not just what you have to keep taking to be nutritious. It's some of the stuff that we need to get out of our body. We had some people staying with us this last weekend, and a guy, his family's trying to get him to eat better, and he's way overweight, and he's, having some little health problems. So he was sitting at our table, and he had been out, and he came back in, and he said, look what I'm eating. And he had some little peppers and some fresh vegetables, and he said, I'm eating fresh vegetables. I go, that's really good. Except for you're drinking a bottle of pop and you're having pizza right now. Like, okay, so this is not nutrition. Yes, it's nice you're getting these vegetables into you, but it's not just what you put in your body, it's what you don't put in your body. Because we have been so programmed of some of these foods that we're eating that they're healthy. And pizza is not health food, I'm sorry. It just isn't. So that's another thing. And then all the toxicity. And the big thing now is people are trying to get away from GMOs. Well, it's in just about everything. And most of us know that Whole Foods is owned by not Mancino's, what's it called?
It's owned by Amazon now.
Yeah. Amazon, yeah.
How many billions?
Yeah, but they, put all kinds of stuff on their foods, and then they try to sell it as Whole Foods. And so you have to kind of look where things are coming from. You go to the freezer department, and it says made in China. They have no regulations over their foods whatsoever. And if it says made in Mexico, it's all organic, but made in Mexico, they still put DDT on their stuff. So what are we going to do? We have to learn to fight for ourselves, grow our own stuff. We got to learn to get these unhealthy things out of our body. And it does take a little work, and it takes a little bit of time, and a lot of people don't want to be bothered with it. So, what can we do about this, right?
Well, one of the important things is to keep the stimulants out of your body. So, coffee, Coke, even tea. A small amount of that is fine. But I know people that drink 12, 15 cups of coffee a day, drink 2 or 3 energy drinks a day. That's really something that you got to get out of your system. So what other things can you do to detox your body?
Oh, well, there's a lot of different ways. One of the things that I had just learned, which is very interesting, is different vegetables and stuff actually help detox the body. And we have so much DDT in our body and GMO stuff and things that's been around for years, and it's from our forefathers and stuff and down through our bloodstream, but it's also still in our ground. And so if we eat things like, if we juice a lot, vegetables or fruits are so good, because fruits are an antioxidant. And I don't know if you guys know what antioxidants are, but they kill free radicals in our body. Free radicals are the dangerous things in our body. So when you eat a lot of fruit, it really helps your body to heal. It gets rid of all the bad stuff. But the interesting part of it is that, a lot of people don't, I was told not to eat too much sugar, because sugar really screws up your pancreas and you get diabetes and blah, 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 But fruit does not mess up diabetes. It actually supports it. If you're not eating fruit and you're eating, all these grains and all these things that turn to starch, you're going to have a diabetes problem and a weight problem. If you get off from grains and you cut back on your sugars like pop and your things made from grains, like your cakes and your cookies and stuff like that, and eat more fruit, you'll actually lose weight, your pancreas will get better, you'll have so many better parts of your body. It actually will, it'll help you cure cancer, all kinds of things. You've got to get off on the things that are all made from GMO and things that are just not made. Well, this is what I want to say. Things that aren't made by God. If God didn't make them, don't eat them. Because He put stuff on earth for us to eat. And if He didn't make it, He don't make pizza, and He don't make cakes, and He don't make cookies. He doesn't make pop. So think about those kind of things. When you go to eat something that God put on earth for you. And the raw, the better. It's okay to have a little meat once in a while. But it's not, when I was a kid, I brought it up, our whole meals went around the meat. Okay, we're going to have roast. Well, let's have a little this and this with it, But it's not that way. You should have all your vegetables and your fruits and stuff, and then add a little bit of meat to it. And not have it all the time, but have some once in a while. So, we just have to learn to change that way, because that's how you're going to get rid of toxins in your body. Celery juice is wonderful. Juicing is good. And there's many different ways you can do it. And you can mix your vegetables and your fruits together raw, and it actually will help detox the body, but it also gives your body nutrients. And that's what we got to look for. When you eat foods, you don't eat food because it's there. You don't eat food because it's food. You eat food because your body needs nutrients. That's why you eat. Only for the nutrients. Not to be satisfied. And most people only eat to be satisfied. And you will be satisfied if you put nutrients in your body. Okay? So what do you think about that?
So,
yeah.
In addition to getting the chemical harmony in your body, we have to do the same thing with our emotions. So how can we affect our emotions directly? Well, one of the ways to do that is to balance the right side of your brain and the left side of your brain. The right side of your brain is your intuitive side, the left side is your logical side. And lots of times there's incongruence between this. So whenever you meditate, information gets transmitted between the right and the left hemisphere. And you begin to have whole brain thinking, or balancing, which helps to balance your emotions. This exercise we just did was introduced to us with heart math. So when you think of breathing through your heart and energy being received through your heart and then going to your brain, that's very balancing. It's very healing for your emotions. And when you tie that to the emotions of gratitude and appreciation, you start to feel in your heart this peace. How many felt that when we did this little exercise? It's a really important exercise. It's very simple to do. You don't need to do a whole lot of preparation. Just close your eyes, slow down your breathing. When you breathe slowly, your body thinks you're safe. If things aren't safe, if you're fearful, what happens to your breathing? It speeds up. But when you consciously slow your breathing down, your body thinks you're safe, and this harmony begins to develop.
Can I say something? And another thing that happens when this happens is a lot of people have anxiety and they can't sleep and they can't think straight. A lot of that is food we eat also, because we're too hyped up. But when we have enough minerals in our body and stuff like that, and we do these kind of things, it's so much more peaceful for us to sleep and not be so flustered about things. It really makes a big difference.
What happened to you yesterday?
Oh yeah. Well, we had a what was that thing we had in our town? 150 a year centennial, and we have rent to a bunch of people, so they all wanted to go down to the beer tent last night. So we goes down there last night and
we drank water.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't. So anyway, we were down there and they had food stands. So I thought, oh gosh, we want something to eat. We hadn't eaten, but I've been eating fruit and stuff all day and stuff. But we wanted something to eat. All they had was hamburger and French fries and hot dogs. So Bob got hamburger. I says, oh, I don't want any meat right now. I said, just give me some French fries. I couldn't sleep last night. All that grease on my stomach, I felt miserable. I haven't had French fries I don't know when, and I figured, all right, lessons learned, But those things do happen to you, and I could not sleep. I was ironing at 1:30 this morning, just to keep myself busy because I couldn't sleep.
So it's a good example of how food can give you disharmony in your body.
Yeah. A lot of times we don't pay attention until something comes up, or once you cut it out, because I used to have no problem with eating foods like that, but once you stop eating and start eating healthy, boy, when you don't eat good, you really notice.
So what other kind of things can you do? Tell us about emotional releasing.
Well, everybody knows about oils. Oils are the nutrients of all the plants, which is really good. But they also have a vibration in them, and the vibrations work with different vibrations in your body. Some parts of our body are stimulated, and some of them are, they just have nothing there. And by putting oils on different trigger points of the body, you can get emotions brought up and out of your body. For instance, it's like around your navel. You put forgiveness there, and you forgive yourself as well as other people. And you put release over your liver, which is where your anger is. And you put just different oils on different parts of the body, and it actually helps your body to let go and release things. That's how I met Bob. I helped him to release some energies, things that he was stuck with, and it just changed his life. And he started telling more people to me. But it does help, because oils are a frequency.
So the story is, I had just gone through a really messy divorce, and I was extremely stressed, high blood pressure, heartburn all the time. So I thought I'd go get a massage. She's a massage therapist. This is before we even kind of met each other. So I made an appointment, had a massage, and when we got done with the massage, she said, this isn't just about your physical body, there's something going on emotionally. And she didn't know anything about what was going on with me. She said you need an emotional release. Okay, I didn't know what that was. So she put these oils on and did some real light touch massage, and I started to cry. And then just released these huge emotions. And the second time I laughed when she did this for like 15 minutes. And the third time I fell asleep. And that was I did that 3 times. But it was a very important process to get rid of all this stuff that had happened with the divorce.
Okay. So, what should we do? What's one of the things we need to do next?
Well, one of the things you've heard me talk about before is emotional release letter writing. We all carry memories from the past that are depleting emotions. They take away our energy and they cause disharmony. So writing these letters emotional release letters are very, very important. The other thing that's really important is to have goals. We need to have a goal to create inner peace for ourselves. A lot of times we think about goals of our work or relationships, our health, but we often don't think about, okay, I want more peace in myself. I want more harmony in my body. And you set a goal for that. And when you set a goal of any kind, then you begin to think about it as if it's already completed. So we think from the future as if we already have it. And what is that going to feel like? What is it going to look like? What is it going to sound like? And you start playing these things on purpose because now you have a goal to have inner peace. And now your intuition is going to start to guide you. And so you'll stumble across the book, or you'll hear a speaker, or you'll go to a seminar, or John will say something important to you that just clicks. So this wouldn't happen if you hadn't set the goal to find inner peace and started to do some of these things like the oils and the emotional releasing and keeping the junk out of your diet. All of this is going to come about after you set a goal, because you're going to get this intuitive guidance around that goal.
And also a lot of times when you have anxiety or loneliness and stuff, that's because you have no goal, you have no purpose. And once you have yourself a little purpose, your anxiety goes away. And we have a lot of people come in with anxiety, but they have no goals, they have no vision of what they want to do, or can't even think of something. But once they do, it just releases that stuff, and they start feeling happier, because you have to have something for your own self.
So we're going to talk about depleting emotions and renewing emotions. So one of the depleting emotions is fear. Now the renewing emotion of that is faith.
Right. And hurt is replaced by forgiveness. So when somebody does something, you have to forgive not only them, but you have to forgive yourself. Because it's not important to hold on to that.
Now anger is a depleting emotion. And it's actually okay to feel angry for a few seconds. That's one of those little triggers that tells us that something isn't right based on what we think. But then we need to let it go. We need to forgive. We need to just move on and allow joy and pleasantness to come into us. We all know people with really short triggers, right? Just say something wrong or look at them wrong, bam, they're angry. If that is an issue with anybody here, there's actually a really good homeopathic remedy that helps people with short fuses. But we want to shift anger to joy.
And then there's shame, which is replaced by respect. Sometimes, things happen in our life that we wish we wouldn't have done or shouldn't have done or could have done different. But then we have to realize that, there's a lesson that we had to learn. And so you have to know that that was your thing to learn. And so you have to learn to respect yourself and others. And when other people make mistakes, and it's not for you to blame, it's not for you to criticize, it's for you to accept people as they are and help them on their path. So sometimes you just have to respect people for where they're at. And that's very important.
Disappointment.
Yeah.
It's one of those depleting emotions. All of us have had experiences in our life that we're really disappointed. Sometimes when we were a child, we're going to go to the zoo, and the parents couldn't make it. We were really disappointed. Or maybe we didn't get picked for the basketball team. Or maybe you lost a job. So disappointment needs to be replaced with hope. And when you have a goal for your future in the areas of your relationships, your career, your health, your money, those goals are going to help you to develop hope. Hope that you can accomplish what it is that you really, really desire.
And then there's resentment, which is replaced by affection. And a lot of times we're jealous or resentful of things that happened and we couldn't do it or whatever, but we realize that everybody is supposed to be where they're at, and it's okay. And you learn to be happy for people. And when you learn to be happy for people, you learn to have more affection for people, because you know that everybody's going to get their turn at their time, and so will you. So when you have more affection for people, it bounces back. And it's the way it is. Yeah.
So loss is another emotion. Loss of relationship, loss in a job. It kind of goes along with the disappointment. We need to have hope. But when we lose, we also want to think about what would it be like if we won? How would we feel? What would that look like? What would that sound like? What would we feel if we had won instead of lost?
Then there's anxiety, which is replaced by calmness and relaxation. And this again is the meditation and knowing that, you can go on, you can do, having your goals, and just be calm about it and know that it will get better. Anxiety is just lack of doing nothing. So keep things moving. So
guilt. Many of us carry guilt from past events, things that we did in the past that we shouldn't have done. But what we have to realize is that we really did that innocently. Innocent ignorance is a really important concept to understand. So we did the very best we could at the time, and we have to forgive ourselves and realize that we really were innocent. And we don't have to carry that guilt anymore. We can forgive ourselves. And the essential oil blend that Barb was talking about, forgiveness, putting that around your belly button every night before you go to bed. It's an amazing, amazing tool to help develop that harmony.
And then there's grief, which is replaced by happiness. And grief, we all grieve somewhere, and it's okay to grieve, but we have to understand that, sometimes grief is from a loss of a friend or a loss of something, maybe the loss of a job. It could be, feeling that you don't have enough money, things aren't going to go on. But when you realize you have what you need, you have the friends you need, the person that moved on and you feel bad is because they needed to, and you have to be happy for them, and you have to know that, everything happens for a reason. So grief is good to a point, but then you have to know that, this is how our world works. And we especially know that we don't die. Our soul goes on, it's still alive, and it's still out there. And so we have to be happy for that person that they actually came here, did their thing, and they're gone. And as far as grief about a job, usually a job will leave you because there's room for something else happening. And when you always are open to something new, it just, and you look for the happiness, it will come to you. So, there's good things and bad in everything, but just know that happiness, the thought of happiness, the state of happiness will bring more to you, and you can cope with things better. Yeah.
One other method of helping with grief is a homeopathic remedy called Ignatia, made from the St. Ignatius bean, and it's very helpful for people who are stuck in grief. So, we have to have this goal of inner peace if we're going to find it. If we don't set a goal for that, you're never going to find it. It's like that GPS we talked about. If you don't put a destination in the address box, all you have is a map. It shows you where you're at. It doesn't show you where you desire to go. So to help you one more time, to give you additional tool to find that inner peace, let's do another meditation. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Inhale a deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body completely. Continue to breathe a little more slowly than normal. Inhale for 4 or 5 seconds. And exhale for 4 or 5 seconds. This slow type of breathing tells your body that you are safe. And again, while you're doing this, it's normal for thoughts to come and go out of your mind. Imagine now that you are breathing through your heart. Touch your hand to the center of your chest. Imagine the air coming into your body through your chest and exhaling out through your heart. Imagine you are breathing through your heart. Now think of someone you appreciate or something that you are grateful for. Feel this feeling in your heart. Think of someone or something that you really care about. Think of someone that you have compassion for. And feel this in your heart. You are now activating those 14,000 sensory receptors in your heart. And these receptors are sending information to your brain. And this information is not filtered through your old memories. It's pure information. Continue to breathe slowly and consciously through your heart with a feeling of gratitude and appreciation. Now continue to touch the center of your chest. And while holding the feeling of gratitude, keeping that smile on your face, imagine a stream of light coming from your heart, reaching out to the hearts of everyone in this room. And now allow that stream of light to reach out to all of your friends and relatives who are not here. We have a quantum connectedness to every being on earth. And continuing to touch the center of your chest, holding the feeling of gratitude, smiling on your face. Think about someone or some situation that you desire to change. And now see that situation changed. See that person healthy, friendly. In your mind, view the situation as completely resolved with a perfect solution. Imagine your body in perfect health, running and skipping as if you were a child. See in your mind sensory signals being passed from your heart to your brain, and feel the peace, the gratitude, the compassion that fill your heart. Continue to hold this feeling for the rest of the coming week. And at any time you choose, you may continue to practice this exercise whenever you wish. Simply close your eyes and touch one hand or both hands to your heart center. Imagine slowly breathing through your heart. And every time you do this, this activates those 14,000 sensory receptors that are in your heart. And then recall something that you are grateful for, someone that you appreciate, some situation in which you really care and have feelings of compassion. And every time you do this, you will have a congruent connection between your heart and your brain, and between the right intuitive side of your brain and the left logical side of your brain. And you will have coherence and congruity, and you will feel amazing peace. Now, as you are ready, you may return your hand to your lap and slowly open your eyes. And we hope that you have learned a few things tonight, a few techniques, so that you can continue to create inner peace within yourself. Thank you.